celebrating 70 years of coverage you can count on. This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 10.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Tonight, Governor Greg Abbott appears headed to court in a showdown over the U.S. Constitution after multiple civil rights organizations say one of the latest bills with his signature violates it.
The bill signed by Governor Abbott yesterday and authored by Lubbock Senator Charles Perry would allow police to arrest migrants suspected of crossing the border illegally and permit judges to order them to leave the U.S. KCBD News Channel 11's Joshua Ramirez joins us with a closer look at Senate Bill 4. Joshua?
Well, Karen and Abner, less than 24 hours after it was signed, Senate Bill 4 had already drawn federal lawsuits from the American Civil Liberties Union and the Texas Civil Rights Project. Members of those groups say immigration laws and enforcement of those laws are set by the federal government and not the state of Texas.
It allows their arrest and confinement for anywhere from a year to 20 years, depending on the person's history.
Governor Abbott putting pen to paper on one of the strictest immigration policies in the country Monday. Senate Bill 4 is set to go in effect in March of next year. Some civil rights groups say it's in violation of the Constitution and prevents immigrants from claiming asylum in the U.S.
To apply for asylum, you have to be there. You have to attempt to enter. Well, this statute prohibits entering or attempting to enter by an alien, so it makes them impossible to apply for asylum.
Attorney David Gwynn says another question has been raised about supremacy and whether the state of Texas is overstepping its authority.
The federal Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, says it's Congress's job to regulate rules of naturalization.
Lubbock State Senator Charles Perry claims the ACLU's lawsuit is self-defeating. In a statement given to KCBD, Senator Perry says, in part, the supremacy of the federal government over states is not the question addressed by SB 4, but rather the question addressed by SB 4 is what happens when the federal government fails to utilize their supremacy for defense and security of its citizens. The future of the bill is almost certain to be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court, who has already set some precedent in 2012 when it struck down parts of a similar law in United States versus Arizona. But Gwynn believes some Republicans likely think this time will be different.
I think absolutely Governor Abbott and those who support this bill want it to go to the Supreme Court because I think they're confident that this court will reverse its decision in 2012 in United States versus Arizona.
As for enforcing Senate Bill 4, that will fall on the shoulders of more than just agents at the border.
This instantly turns every deputy sheriff, every city police officer into a quasi-border patrol agent. They just multiplied the size of roving driving border patrol by 100.
Gwynn says that could lead to other problems down the line.
It raises some real troublesome issues ethnically. If you have a different color skin and you're close to the border or even far from it, can they just stop you for driving while brown now? I mean, they used to do it and lie about it. Now they could do it and change it. So that's a big, big issue.
Now, in that statement from Senator Perry, he went on to say, quote, Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution gives the states the ability to defend themselves when there is a real threat of imminent danger. And he says the data is overwhelming, undeniable, and clearly establishes that Texas is facing imminent danger. We do have that full statement at kcbd.com. Karen and Abner.
Thank you, Joshua.